Okay, you ready?
Not really, not yet.
While Tony's setting up, I'd like to say good morning, friends. Good morning, Ushan and Michael and Farah and Kambiz. Thank you for joining us today. And here we go.
Blessings upon you. Let's praise the Lord together, my friends. We have all awakened and got shelter. Now we've come to praise His name together. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good my friends, my friends. Sing Hosanna, Hosanna, hallelujah, hallelujah, alabama, in the sanctuary of our Lord's protection and the stronghold of our Lord's defense. With His love, our spirits are illumined as we glorify His name. Our hearts are blessed. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, my friend, my friend. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, my friend, my friend. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning, everyone. Give me a moment. We got to do a little adjusting here. We're having some issues this morning. I think we start a whole lot of programs out there. We're having some issues this morning. Well, today is not a whole lot different right now. We're having some issues. We were having some sound issues that we were trying to, we thought we had them solved. Apparently, based on some issues, I noticed you were having some difficulties.
Yes.
Your volume turned all the way up there?
Guys, you came in really good, and at least on my end, your balance was really good.
Oh, good.
Really?
Thank you.
Yeah, that's how you came through to me.
Well, thank you very much, Daryl. I know you were having some problems. I'm not drowning him out. Andy, and come back, Andy. You're leaving us.
My issue was with,
Oh, his issue was with tuning.
and not mine, yours.
What do you mean mine? My tuning was.
I'm afraid I can't help you with that, Daryl. I mean, I don't even know which end of the doggone thing to blow through.
That sounds okay to me.
All right.
Anyway, it might be a good idea to start, as we generally do,
With a prayer.
with a prayer. Hello, everyone in Facebook land. We're having some issues with this now. This is a prayer of praise from Baha'u'llah. Glorified art thou, O Lord my God. I beseech thee by him who is thy most great name, who hath been sorely afflicted by such of thy creatures as have repudiated thy truth, and who hath been hemmed in by sorrows which no tongue can describe, to grant that I may remember thee and celebrate thy praise in these days when all have turned away from thy beauty, have disputed with thee, and turned away disdainfully from him who is the revealer of thy cause. None is there, O my Lord, to help thee except thine own self, and no power to succor thee save thine own power. I entreat thee to enable me to cleave steadfastly to thy love and thy remembrance. This is verily within my power, and thou art the one that knoweth all that is in me. Thou in truth art knowing, apprised of all. Deprive me not, O my Lord, of the splendors of the light of thy face, whose brightness hath illuminated the whole world. No God is there beside thee, the most powerful, the all-glorious, the ever-forgiving. And this is a prayer, again, by Baha'u'llah. Good morning, everyone out there in Facebook land. Good morning, everyone. I know Daryl already said good morning to you, but I did not. Hi, Andy, and Michael, and Farah, and Kambiz, and Jeremiah, and Gilbert. So what are we reading today? What are we reading today, Daryl?
We are reading from the Shoghi Effendi's treatise, The Advent of Divine Justice.
Yes.
And this treatise is about is Shoghi Effendi's treatise on how the American believers are to proceed. It was written in 1938 or 39, somewhere around there. And at that time, there were many issues that affected the American Baha'i community. And so many of those issues are still existing today. And
Yes.
that's one of the reasons why we chose to pick this piece.
And I got to tell you, man, reading, we usually get through about, at least in this version of the book, about 5 or 6 pages each week.
Yeah.
So when I say the next 5 or 6 pages, I'm referring to the way it is. For you, it's probably, 2 or 3 pages a day? Yeah.
2 or 3, yeah.
But it's today's section is, it's so, the only word I can come up with is an overused word, but inspiring. It is so inspiring. And as many times as I have said this, I will say it again. I am so glad that we are reading this book. It certainly, again, has implications for today, as well, as much as it did way back in 1938, or I guess it was published in 38, but yeah, I'm assuming it was written at about that time as well. Yeah, so all that being said, Daryl, while you're reading,
Sure.
I'm going to tune in.
This section, you say it's inspiring. Tony's book doesn't have subtitles. Mine does. And mine says this section is called An Inscrutable Wisdom and All-Compelling Will. Such dearly beloved friends is the vista that stretches before the eyes and challenges the resources of the American Baha'i community in these, the concluding years of the first century of the Baha'i era. Remember, this was written in 1938. Such are the qualities and qualifications demanded of them for the proper discharge of their responsibilities and duties. Such are the requirements, the possibilities, and the objectives of the plan that claims every ounce of their energy. Who knows but that these few remaining fast fleeting years may not be pregnant with events of unimaginable magnitude, with ordeals more severe than any that humanity has yet experienced, with conflicts more devastating than any which have preceded them. Dangers, however sinister, must at no time dim the radiance of their newborn faith. Dangers, however sinister, must at no time dim the radiance of their newborn faith. Strife and confusion, however bewildering, must never befog their vision. Tribulations, however afflictive, must never shatter their resolve. Denunciations, however clamorous, must never sap their loyalty. Upheavals, however cataclysmic, must never deflect their course. The present plan, embodying the budding hopes of a departed master, must be pursued, relentlessly pursued, whatever may befall them in the future, however distracting the crisis that may agitate their country or the world. Far from yielding in their resolve, far from growing oblivious of their task, they should at no time, however much buffeted by circumstances, forget that the synchronization of such world-shaking crises with the progressive unfoldment and fruition of their divinely appointed task is itself the work of providence, the design of an inscrutable wisdom, and the purpose of an all-compelling will, a will that directs and controls in its own mysterious way both the fortunes of the faith and the destinies of men. Such simultaneous processes of rise and fall of integration and of disintegration of order and chaos, with their continuous and reciprocal reactions on each other, are but aspects of a greater plan. They are aspects of a greater plan. One and indivisible, whose source is God, whose author is Baha'u'llah, the theater of whose operations is the entire planet, and whose ultimate objectives are the unity of the human race and the peace of all mankind. Now I'm going to go back. Faith and destinies of men, such simultaneous processes of rise and fall, of integration and disintegration, of order and chaos, with their continuous and reciprocal reactions on each other, are but aspects of a greater plan. One and individuals whose source is God, whose author is Baha'u'llah, the theater of whose operations is the entire planet, and whose ultimate objectives are the unity of the human race and the peace of all mankind. Reflections such as these should steel the resolves of the entire Baha'i community, should dissipate their forebodings and arouse them to rededicate themselves to every single provision of that divine charter, whose outline has been delineated for them by the pen of Abdul Baha. The 7-year plan, as already stated, is but the initial stage, a stepping stone to the unfoldment of the implications of this charter. The impulse, originally generated through the movement of that pen, and which is now driving forward with increasing momentum the machinery of the 7-year plan, must, in the opening years of the next century, be further accelerated and impel the American Baha'i community to launch further stages in the unfoldment of the divine plan, stages that will carry it far beyond the shores of the Northern Hemisphere into the lands and among peoples where that community's noblest acts of heroism are to be performed.
I got to tell you something, man. First of all, it was hard to pay attention because
You were too. I got it.
I think someone sabotaged my guitar. I didn't notice, but it was as badly out as anyway. That is not the issue right now. As you know, for anyone who doesn't know, I like to underline words that jump out at me, and a lot of times I have questions or comments on those. And I can't help, I guess maybe just kind of summing this up for myself, but Shoei Effendi, I just love the way he doesn't sugarcoat things,
Not at all.
but he still motivates.
Absolutely.
He doesn't sugarcoat. He doesn't say this is going to be easy. He doesn't say go out there and do what you have to do because no, he tells you it's going to be tough. He says there's going to be challenges. He says, but you have, he has listed the qualities and the qualifications to meet those challenges and the requirements that, that every believer has to have to try, to really try and meet those requirements. And that as a community, I should say, that as a community, that community must have. However, and I guess however might not be the right word, he used the word denunciation. I mean, he's saying that these are the certain things, don't let this slow you down. Strife, and again, these are my words, strife, confusion, tribulations, denunciation of evils. Yes, yes. And, I got to tell you, I knew what denunciation looked, I knew what it meant in general, but I will also admit that sometimes I confuse two words, denounce and renounce.
Right.
And I found out, number one, that's not common. I'm not unusual in that regard. But because he used the word denounce, and what is a denunciation? And I'm sure all Baha'is, once you hear what it is, if you don't know, you probably do, but if you don't, you'll see why it's important that he points this out. Shoghi Effendi says, denunciations, however clamorous, must never sap their loyalty. What is a denunciation? It is a public declaration of something to be wrong or evil.
Absolutely.
Of course, that's never been said about the Baha'i faith, has it? It's never been said about the writing. It's never been said. Of course it has, and still is. There is no lack of videos on YouTube.
Right.
There are groups of people that speak out against the faith. Now, it tells me one thing. One thing is, for whatever reason, they feel this particular faith organization word needs to be spoken out about. At least for me, that speaks to its power.
That's true.
It speaks to its power. And I would really admonish anyone who has come across some of those denunciations. Read for yourself, just like we're doing.
Absolutely.
Read for yourself, just like we are doing. Hello, Mary Ward, how are you? So I just felt that need to be, I wanted to emphasize that, whether it needed to be pointed out or not. Obviously there's more to it than that.
Well, you called this section inspiring, and that's exactly what it is. It is Shoghi Effendi's way of saying, in the face of whatever challenges you,
Mm-hmm.
go forward. Don't let anything stop you from doing what you know is the right thing to do, and that is to go out and spread the word of God. So, and that's what this whole treatise is pretty
Yes.
much about. It's
Yes.
about, spreading the word of God, not just where you are, but in communities beyond where you are.
Absolutely. And
So-
I'm thinking of those words that are so often used, in relation to the civil rights movement here in the U.S. Keep your eyes on the prize.
Keep your eyes on the
Keep your
prize.
eye
Absolutely.
yes, keep your eye on the big picture, because in your own little world, you're going to run into all of these. There's at least a possibility you'll run into all of these things. And even beyond yourself, you'll notice, you'll see or hear about the difficulties that others are encountering. And yet, you have to still look beyond that. You have to see not just the bigger picture, let's say in this physical life, but also in the spiritual existence, we have to see the bigger picture there. But of course, we're most concerned right now with.
In a previous section, Baha'u'llah talks about be as unrestrained as the wind.
Yes.
And this defines what that lack of restraint is. Don't be as unrestrained as the wind. And go forward. Keep moving. You know,
Yes.
that's what this is all about.
And I love what he says that, I don't know, am I getting ahead of myself? You've already read this section about the rise, the simultaneous processes of rise and fall, have you not?
No, that's the next section.
Oh, that's the next section. Okay, so I am getting ahead of myself. This section, and I've heard other, in Baha'i gatherings, this very topic at least alluded to. This is, it's just, this is special. And I gotta always say, this is all special, but this one, it really, it explains so much. I'll just say that.
Let's do a song.
Have I talked too long?
Yeah.
This time we can play in tune. I hope. I don't think I said hello.
When you were asking me about what was wrong, it was and I said tuning.
Hey,
I didn't mean mine. I meant yours.
hey. I've never been that much out of tune without noticing it. That one was really bad. It was like a gremlin came in and anyway, let me set up. Oh man. Sometimes we have to laugh at ourselves. And if I did that every time there was something to laugh about myself, I'd be laughing all day long. But
you and me both.
You don't have to worry about getting any denunciation for it.
Okay. Thank you, Andy. Love is the secret of God's holy dispensation. Love is heaven's kind of light. Love is the cause of God's revelation unto man. Love ensures true felicity. Strive to become the manifestations of the love of God, the lamps of divine guidance, shining amongst the kindreds of the earth. Love is the light that guides in darkness. Love is the most great law. Love reveals the mysteries of the universe. Love is the spirit of life. Strive to become the manifestations of the love of God, the lamps of divine guidance, shining amongst the kindreds of the earth. Love, 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 love. to become the manifestations of the love of God, the lamps of divine guidance shining amongst the kindreds of the earth with the light of love. Love, 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 with the light of love. Love, 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 with the light of love.
Love, 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 love.
I guess that was a double hit instead of a one hit, but just kind of goes along with the theme today. Having some issues. I always like to point out that song, the words in that song are all from Abdu'l-Baha. Abdu'l-Baha would go around, of course, giving talks, what some people might even call sermons, but giving talks. And he spoke frequently and extensively about the importance of love and the power of love. And this word is made up of phrases from one of his talks where he talked about love. So, yeah.
Okay, this next section is a rather long one, entitled in my book, The Advent of the Kingdom.
Ooh.
It's the advent of the kingdom. Let anyone inclined to doubt the course which this enviable community is destined to follow, turn to and meditate upon these words of Abdu'l-Baha, enshrined for all time in the tablets of the divine plan, and addressed to the entire community of believers of the United States and Canada. The full measure of your success, he informs them, is as yet unrevealed, its significance still unapprehended. Ere long, ye will, with your own eyes, witness how brilliantly every one of you, even as a shining star, will radiate in the firmament of your country the light of divine guidance, and will bestow upon its people the glory of an everlasting life. The range of your future achievements still remains undisclosed. I fervently hope that in the near future, the whole earth may be stirred and shaken by the results of your achievements. The hope, therefore, which Abdu'l-Baha cherishes for you is that the same success which has attended your efforts in America may crown your endeavors in other parts of the world, and through you, the fame of the cause of God may be diffused throughout the East and the West, and the advent of the kingdom of the Lord of hosts be proclaimed in all the five continents of the globe. The moment, he most significantly adds, the moment this divine message is carried forward by the American believers from the shores of America and is propagated throughout the continents of Europe, of Asia, of Africa, and of Australasia, and as far as the islands of the Pacific, this community will find itself securely established upon the throne of an everlasting dominion. Then will all the peoples of the world witness that this community is spiritually illumined and divinely guided. Then will the whole earth resound with praises of its majesty and greatness.
Wow. That is inspiring. I mean, it is so inspiring.
Definitely.
Yes. I mean, and I like the use of the word Advent. Of course, coming from a Christian background, that word has special meaning. And to refer to the advent of the kingdom of the Lord of hosts being proclaimed in all of the five continents of the globe is to me, is really special. It has a special significance. I'll just leave it at that.
So how about if you take it from here, the reading?
Okay. This next section I have written in my margins. I've given myself subtitles. This one is gotta keep going, gotta keep going. No reader of these words, this is Shoghi Effendi talking now, no reader of these words so vibrant with promises that not even the triumphant consummation of the 7-year plan can fulfill, can expect a community that has been raised so high and endowed so richly to remain content with any laurels it may win in the immediate future. I'm going to interject, gotta keep going. To rest upon such laurels would indeed be tantamount to a betrayal of the trust placed in that community by Abdu'l-Baha. To cut short the chain of victories that must lead it on to that supreme triumph when the whole earth may be stirred and shaken by the results of its achievements which shatter his hopes. Gotta keep going. To vacillate and fail to propagate throughout the continents of Europe, of Asia, of Africa, and of Australasia, and as far as the islands of the Pacific, a message, to vacillate and fail to propagate a message so magnificently proclaimed by it in the American continent would deprive it of the privilege of being securely established upon the throne of an everlasting dominion. To forfeit the honor of proclaiming the advent of the kingdom of the Lord of hosts in all the 5 continents of the globe would silence those praises of its majesty and greatness that otherwise would echo throughout the whole earth. Such vacillation, failure, or neglect, the American believers, the ambassadors of the faith of Baha'u'llah will, I am firmly convinced, never permit. I'm going to read that again. Such vacillation, failure, or neglect, the American believers, the ambassadors of the faith of Baha'u'llah will, I am firmly convinced, it will never permit. Such a trust will never be betrayed. Such hopes can never be shattered. Such a privilege will never be forfeited, nor will such praises remain unuttered. Nay, rather, the present generation of this blessed, this repeatedly blessed community will go from strength to strength and will hand on, as the first century draws to a close, to the generations that must succeed it in the second, the torch of divine guidance. I love that phrase, the torch of divine guidance, undimmed by the tempestuous winds that must blow upon it, that they in turn, faithful to the wish and mandate of Abdu'l-Baha, may carry that torch with that selfsame vigor, fidelity, and enthusiasm to the darkest and remotest corners of the earth. And I got to tell you, if the letter stopped there, I'd still be like,
Yeah.
this is just, this is another one of those paragraphs that I want to not just mark, but maybe print out and stick on the wall somewhere. There's just so much in this that to me, that one thing I've said, I know we have to move on, but one thing that I've often said about, certain other dispensations, other revelations, is that they have a lot of, shall we say, visuals, that help instill in the followers or in the believers, that sense of, make it real for them, which is already real, but makes it concrete.
Absolutely.
That, to me, this visual of handing off that torch of divine guidance does that. I mean, just that torch of divine guidance. I'm going to go ahead and stop there. And at this time, as you can see, Daryl has put his instrument down. And it's because we've reached that point in time where, yes, anyone who would like to share a prayer or a reading of your own choosing or a song of your own choosing, this is that time. But as always, we like to start out with our Kambiz moment, followed by our Andy moment. Kambiz, are you there? Do you have something that you want to share with us right now? He's unmuted.
Sure. Yes,
Yeah.
yes, I have a healing word. which I'm going to sing, and then I will translate to English. I mean, it's already translated to English, sorry.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Just
ای دوست در روضه قلب جز گل عشق مکار و از زیر بلبل حب و شوق دست مدار مصاحبت ابرار را غنیمت دار و از مرافقت اشرار دست و دل هر دو بردار. O friend, in the garden of thy heart plant not but the rose of love, and from the nightingale of affection and desire loosen not thy hold. Treasure the companionship of the righteous and eschew all fellowship with the ungodly. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Camby's. Thank you. Thank you. I love that verse. Andy, do you have something you'd like to share with us this morning?
Mhm. Now, if you can get the image of the soft drink company that hijacked this particular song out of your mind and think and turn our thoughts to unity, then here we go. Well, I'd like to build the world a home and furnish it with love. Grow apple trees and honey bees and snow white turtle doves. I'd like to teach the world to sing in perfect harmony. I'd like to hold it in my arms and keep it company. I like to see the world for once all standing hand in hand and hear them echo through the hills to peace throughout the land. That's the song I hear. Let the world sing today. Song of peace that goes on and never goes away.
Nice, Andy. Nice ending. Thank you so much. That's a real heart lifter. Thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to share? Anyone at all?
Okay.
Okay, well then I guess we can move on. We can move forward. I see Adam. I didn't have a chance to say hi to Adam. So hey there, Adam. I know you've been with us for quite a while now. I didn't say hello to you. Or did I say hello and forgot that I had said hello?
You did not.
I did not. I don't think so. Let me readjust here.
Okay. Well, this next section just our announcement to let everyone know that this effort, this thing that we put on every week, is a joint community effort. It is not just the Clearwater community, but we are hosted by the Clearwater community and several other communities that go in that lend a hand to make all this happen. So we'd like to thank all of them. Also, we'd like to let you know that this is primarily about the Baha'i faith. And if you have an interest in learning more about the Baha'i faith, there are some definitive websites where you can go and learn more. And those websites are www.baha'i.us, www.baha'i.org, or www.bahaiteachings.org. And if you happen to be in the Tampa Bay area and would like to know more about their faith, you can always go to the Clearwater Baha'i website, which is www.clearwaterbaha'is.org.
Yes.
Tony, if you would please turn to the right, the people on Zoom could read the thing.
Oh. You know what? I too often I just assume, okay, they all know this, but no, not necessarily. All right, let me put this up there.
Excellent.
Okay. Thank you, Andy. Thank you very much. I got to say, there are a few people that give us feedback, and sometimes it's a critique. But I like the feedback because we need to know how things are working for the folks that are joining us, both in Facebook and of course in Zoom. And I will say that as far as the folks in Facebook, first of all, I like our ability to just kind of send it out there, and whoever might stumble on it. But we have quite a few people that do respond. We have some regulars. I have a cousin who always puts some nice things in there. Not Andy. I believe it's Ralph Shoemaker from up in New York. Often says some things. And of course, there's the lovely and talented Nene Hall, and she's not here, who often puts some things in there. And a few other people from time to time. And there's a young man, I'm trying to, the note has gone. He had something he put in chat. His name is Desmond, who does some great things online. He does a lot of public programs. He's Baha'i as well. But he does a lot of programs, and it's always asking people or encouraging people, just to do some positive, good things and put some positive stuff out there. So I want to say a special hi to Desmond.
And we also have folks in Facebook who take our program and they share it with other people, other communities.
Yes, absolutely. And thank you for that. Yeah.
And occasionally we look at how our numbers kind of stack up, and we've gotten some pretty healthy numbers of times that our program is shared throughout the world, and we really appreciate that.
Yes, we do. Absolutely.
So before we go, I'd like to say that what I say every week, and that is, if you really want to improve the world around you and improve the lives of those who come in contact with you and those whom you happen to chance upon, the one thing that you can do to make all the world a better place is to share the love that you have. And I guarantee you will not be disappointed when you do that.
We still have some time. I guess we can play a little more.
Ready? Yeah, we can play more of this one.
How vast is the tabernacle of the cause of God? It hath overshadowed all the peoples and kindreds of the earth. and will ere long gather together the whole of mankind beneath its shelter. The day of service is now come. Arise for the triumph of my cause, and through the power of thine utterance, subdue the hearts of men. Thou must show forth that which will ensure the peace and the well-being of the miserable and the downtrodden. Let your vision be world-embracing. Let your vision be world-embracing. Let your vision be world-embracing. Oh, oh. It is incumbent upon every man in this day to hold fast unto whatsoever will promote the interest and exalt the station of all nations and just governments. Through each and every one of the verses which the pen of the Most High hath revealed, the doors of love and unity have been unlocked and flung open to the face of men. We have erewhile declared, and our word is the truth. Consort with the followers of all religions in a spirit of friendliness and fellowship. Let your vision be world-embracing. Let your vision be world-embracing. Let your vision be world-embracing. Oh, oh. Be world-embracing. Let your vision be world-embracing. Let your vision be world-embracing. O people of justice, be as brilliant as the light, and as splendid as the fire that blazed in the burning bush. The brightness of the fire of your love will no doubt fuse and unify the contending peoples and kindreds of the earth. Whilst the fierceness of the flame of enmity and hatred cannot but result in strife and ruin, we beseech God that he may shield his creatures from the evil designs of his enemies. He verily hath power over all things. Let your vision be world-embracing. Let your vision be world-embracing. Let your vision be world-embracing. Oh, oh. Watch over yourselves, for the evil one is lying in wait, ready to entrap you. Gird yourselves against his wicked devices, and led by the light of the name of the all-seeing God, Make your escape from the darkness that surroundeth you. Let your vision be world embracing rather than confined to your own self. These are the words of Baha'u'llah. Be world embracing. Let your vision be world embracing. Let your vision be world embracing. Oh, oh. Have a good one, folks. Folks out there in Facebook land, everyone, thanks for
Take
joining
care.
us.
Thank
We
you.
hope we see you again here next week. Now the technical difficulty is me. Again.